For decades, when you thought about a tank's power, it was pretty simple, right? Bigger gun, thicker armor, that was it. But is that still true today? I mean, with all the advanced missiles, drones, and just crazy geopolitics out there. Well, let's get into it, because the whole idea of what makes a main battle tank dominant is being completely turned on its head.
So, let's start with the big one. The question every single one of us has asked at some point. What is the most powerful tank in the world? Is it the Abrams, the Leopard, maybe something we haven't even heard of? Well, the answer, it's a lot more complicated and, honestly, way more interesting than you'd expect. Okay, so before we can even get to the future, we've got to tackle this huge myth. The idea that there's one single best tank out there. Because you see, picking a winner isn't just about looking at a stat sheet. And this right here, this quote nails the problem perfectly. Think about it. The real details, especially how a tank's armor is made and how well it actually works, that stuff is top secret, like one of the biggest state secrets a country can have. We're just not allowed to know the full story. It's that simple. And hey, even if we did have all the secret files, it still wouldn't give us the answer. Why? Because the battlefield isn't a video game. It's messy. The winner of a fight could come down to who has the better trained crew, who knows the terrain, or even just plain luck. You can't put that on a spreadsheet. I mean, look at this. This story really drives a point home. A Challenger 2 reportedly survived 70 RPG hits. 70. Now, we don't have the footage, but this account from Iraq, it shows a kind of toughness that just breaks all the rules of on-paper stats. What happens in a real fight is often a whole different world from the numbers. Okay, so with all that context, let's ground ourselves in the here and now. Let's take a look at what the absolute state of the art looks like today. Because if we want to know where we're going, we first have to understand where we are. And for that, let's talk about Germany's Leopard 2.8. This thing is pretty much the peak of current main battle tank technology. It's so good, in fact, that a bunch of European countries are lining up to get it. It's the perfect case study for what a top-tier heavy tank can do. So, first off, it's armor. It's not just a big, dumb slab of steel. Not anymore. Think of it like a high-tech layer cake. We're talking a fusion of different materials. Steel, tungsten, special ceramics, composites, all layered together. Each layer is designed to stop a different kind of threat. It's incredibly smart. But this is the real game changer. It's called an active protection system, or APS. Seriously, it's like something out of science fiction. Imagine a protective force field around the tank. Radars are constantly scanning in every direction, 360 degrees. The second they spot an incoming missile or rocket, bam! The system fires out a blast of metal pellets to destroy it in midair. The threat never even gets to touch the armor. So you put all those pieces together and you get the whole picture. This is a beast, weighing up to 67 tons, but it can still move at 70 kilometers per hour. You've got that super advanced armor, the APS force field, and a massive 120mm gun. Right now, this is pretty much the gold standard. Okay, so if the Leopard 2A8 is that good, what could possibly come next? Well, this is where the story gets really complicated. Because the plan to build its replacement, it's turned into this huge, tangled mess of politics and problems. The project was called the Main Ground Combat System, or MGCS for short. The idea, which kicked off back in 2017, was for France and Germany to team up and build one super tank to replace both the German Leopard 2 and the French Leclerc. Sounds great, right? Well, not so much. From the very beginning, the whole thing has been a story of delays. The original plan was to have it in service by 2035. Now, they're hoping for 2045, and that's a big if. It's just been bogged down by endless arguments over who builds what, who pays for what, just one problem after another. So what's the deal? Why can't they get it done? Well, it really comes down to the fact that France and Germany just see the world differently. They have totally different ideas about how to run their industries, about nuclear power, even about the basic question of whether to build their own European gear or just buy proven stuff from the US. These aren't minor disagreements. They're fundamental roadblocks that are stalling the whole project. And all this trouble, this whole crisis in trying to build the next big heavy tank, it's making a lot of smart people ask a really radical question. What if the whole idea of a 70-ton steel monster is just over? Yeah, this quote really captures the new way of thinking. The old approach of just building a bigger, heavier pan tank, one giant beast that's supposed to do everything, that's becoming obsolete.
the future might not be about getting bigger, it might be about getting smarter and a whole lot lighter.
And if you want to see just how radical this could be, look at these numbers. This is a study on what would happen if you took an M1A2 Abrams and replaced the steel with advanced composites. The weight would plummet from over 68 tons down to less than 27. That's a 55% weight reduction. I mean, that's just insane. It completely changes everything about how you move it, how fast it can go, everything.
So what does this future tank actually look like? Well, it might not be one tank at all. Imagine a common, lightweight base, a chassis, and you can swap out different weapon systems on top depending on the mission. It would be way lighter, obviously. It might only need a two-person crew instead of four because of automation. And hey, it could even be designed to be completely remote controlled, a true unmanned tank. So that's what we're left with, a huge shift in thinking. Maybe the question of who rules the future battlefield isn't about who has the heaviest tank with the thickest armor anymore. Maybe it's about who has the most adaptable one. The future might not belong to the biggest beast in the jungle, but to the one that can change its colors the fastest.